DJs in them city.
This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
Two DJs in a mic with your host, DJ Mike.
Is that a timetable?
And DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Two DJs and One Mic with myself, the nice guy, and the infamous DJ JP. Dude, I wasn't even expecting that to happen. And we're joined today with one of Dallas' own, the great Nate Nelson. How you doing, Nate? Forgive me,
fellas. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guy? What's up? Forgive me, I got bamboozled with this hat. You know,
tis the season.
Yes. And every year around this time, he goes in some back closet with all of these hats. And I need to find a location where I can have a public burning.
It's all good.
I like it. It adds flavor.
Oh, yes. Nice hat. So how are you doing today, sir?
Man, it's recovery day for me, really. I just finished a 5-event, 4-day weekend.
What?
So, yeah.
What were they all weddings or what were you doing? Corporate?
No, corporate. I had a wedding Friday, set up for a production Saturday, then played a bar gig Saturday night, went to a wedding between that as a guest, and then Sunday I DJ'd Andy's party, and last night I had a holiday party as well.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, my schedule was crazy.
Yeah. All right, Clark Kent.
Yep. So
Super DJ.
it's been a rest day, you know?
Yeah, recovery.
Yeah,
That is very important in what we do, guys.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. And we definitely want to thank you for joining us on our show. I know it's been a long time coming, and we been kind of chasing after each other or bumping heads, so to speak. So
absolutely, I'm honored to be here. Glad you guys got me on, and just looking forward to chatting it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we have some questions, nothing too, out of the way. We're not going to ask for the kids, or anything like that. So, jumping this thing off, can you take us back to the beginning? What first inspired you to pursue a career in DJing, and how did that passion evolve into what it is today?
Great question. It all probably started early on for me. Music's been in my blood. My dad played in a band all through his early years, and up until about 5 years ago was still playing in bands regularly. And so I learned to play the drums at a very young age, and played drums, in a band all the way until my sophomore year of college. I played in my worship band. I learned to play guitar along the way. And in college, I'm kind of a crazy ADD kind of person. So if I'm interested in something, I give it 150%. If I'm not interested in it, that's exactly what I am. I'm not interested in it. So school was never like the best for me, because if things were boring and I didn't feel like it was useless, I didn't take advantage of it. But I did go to college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I took a radio class, and I thought that was interesting. And I was always in theater and always class clown and always loved to talk. So I felt like radio would be up my alley. I got the face for it. And so I went and took radio. I got an A in it. And I loved it. And I got a job doing that. And there was on air. I was on air one night, and I kept having these kids call me, and kids would call the radio station all the time, and they were like, "We want you to DJ our dance, DJ our dance, DJ our dance." And so I was like, "All right." They kept calling, and so I finally said, "All right, well, if you'll have a parent call me and get in touch with me, I'll entertain the idea." And so, being that I was in a band and my dad was in a band, I had access to a sound system. Way too big of a mixer at the time. I think I ran a 24-channel Mackie mixer. This was back in 2005, 4 or 5. And I still have the flyer in my office right now from my very first event that I DJ'd. It's framed. It's in my office right over here. And I was hooked, just like everybody, man. Like you get that euphoric feeling when you play the right song at the right time. And I knew right then and there that I wanted to do this. I didn't know how I wanted to do it. I didn't know if I was gonna, I didn't know then that I was gonna go into the private event world. I always thought that I could be always thought as a kid that I was gonna be famous one day. And in my head, I was just like, I'm gonna be famous. That's what I'm gonna do. And I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna pursue something to be famous.
So let me ask a couple other questions real quick before we dive into all this. Where you from, Nate?
I'm originally from Oklahoma. I was born in Edmond, Oklahoma. I lived in Oklahoma City, graduated high school from Putnam City West High School in Oklahoma City. I moved to Dallas Baptist right out of high school. My grandmother taught there for 30 years, so that's where I went to school initially. I went to Oklahoma State. Then I went to Murray State to bring my grades back up to get back into a regular. That Murray State was like a state college in Tishomingo, Oklahoma. Then I went to Southeastern Oklahoma State and was there until I dropped out of college. My wife graduated. She wasn't my wife at the time, but my girlfriend at the time graduated. And then we got engaged. She's from Mesquite, Texas. And so she wanted to move back to the Dallas area because teachers get paid a lot more in Texas than they do in Oklahoma. And so I followed her. We got married. And then I moved here in 2008 and dove headfirst into this crazy ocean of fish. That, they always say there's 1,000 fish in the sea. And I felt like when I moved to Dallas that I was DJing a lot, but how am I going to fit out? How am I going to fit in this massive market, this big ocean of fish that there's a bunch of DJs everywhere? And so I just started networking and I was playing bars and clubs and I met Glenn and the rest is kind of history, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was wondering, so that's how you and Glenn hooked up? Y'all started it all together?
Actually, Glenn had already started LaForce when I joined. It was him, Ed Petty, Adam Wilmore, a guy named Jeff Burris, and I think there was a guy named Robert that worked at the time. He was only with us for a short amount of time. And then I joined in late 2011, did my first event with them in 2012. So, yeah. I knew Glenn's wife in high school. She's from Oklahoma as well. So that's how we kind of got.
I don't know why I thought connected. She was from Louisiana with that last name.
No, she's an Oklahoma girl.
Thought she was a Creole. But no, I mean, it's funny because we've seen each other for years and years and years, and I've never really got to know. We really don't know each other. We just know each other in the DJ world, and we probably know each other better away from here than we do here, and that's kind of crazy. We see each other more at the conferences and all the other stuff. But I said, I was thinking about the other night when I saw you guys, and I said they're probably doing a photo shoot in the back. I started to come back there and mess with y'all, but I said. We got to get Nate on the show, man. I really need to know more about him because I don't know. I didn't even know where you were from, how you got into it. So I told Mike, hey, let's reach out to Nate, man, and see if he'll come on the show.
Absolutely, man. And I'm happy to be here, and I'm an open book. So
yeah, I see.
So as long as you don't take the keys, Mike.
We're gonna go to the next question. Your background in radio broadcasting, I'm sure that was fascinating. How did work in radio shape you for your skills as a DJ today? What lessons did you carry over into your live events from radio? Because that's totally different.
Yeah, no, I feel like radio kind of helped sculpt, my MC side of what I do. There's, it's funny, just the differences between, when you talk to a normal person that's not in our industry or not a DJ. You just tell them you're a DJ and they're like, yeah, cool. And inside the DJ world, it's like, oh, are you a club DJ? Are you a wedding DJ? Like what, there's so many stereotypes of like what people are. And I feel like I'm a well-rounded dual threat because I have a history in theater. I had a history in radio and personal and like public speaking. And so that really helped sculpt kind of a lot of my MC skills of what I can do on a microphone. And, that's super important when you're doing private events and weddings is being able to really kind of guide guests through the night and keep things moving and doing it well and doing it well spoken. And, then you can get into the technical side and all that stuff. But then also like on the DJ side, I started in the nightlife area. I started in bars and clubs. And so I think that radio also helped me with organizational skills with music and understanding different formats of music. So, when you have pop music or country music or rap or hip hop or, EDM, dance, whatever the genre of a music is, I feel like radio kind of helped me with my organizational skills and really like dialing into knowing. And I had access to charts and what was popular when, and like really seeing the flip in radio and seeing the turnover of music. It kind of helped me like sculpt my way of how I'm flipping music in the private event world. Like I was playing this song at a wedding 6 months ago, but now I'm not playing it, or what, just because there is a tide that's moving in and out in music in the scene. So, and then on the DJ side, like I feel like performing and having a live aspect of being in a band, like when I'm performing or when I'm playing, I'm in it 100%. And so I'm having fun doing it. I practice my ass off to be well-rounded in all different types of genres. And I was in the club scene, and I've done festivals, concerts, all that kind of stuff. And that kind of bled into the private event side. So I feel like I'm a blend of everything. Like I can play a club, I can play a concert, I can play a festival, I can play a wedding, I can play a corporate event. I can adapt really well. And so that's kind of, I think with anything, like with radio kind of taught me a lot of those foundational pieces to be where I am today. So yeah.
Let me ask you this. With learning how, to play instruments, drums, guitar, and so forth, how do you think that has aided you as a DJ? Do you think that has helped
Absolutely.
when it comes to like rhythm and timing?
Rhythm and timing for sure, but we all know you don't need rhythm or timing to be a DJ now with software and sync and all the things. You don't have to have it. But if you don't understand song structure and when and where songs should be, like coming in on the one, like if you say that to somebody that just hits sync and they hit like coming in on the one is like, that's the downbeat of, like, that's the first beat of the phrase that you're going to try to mix in or out of. And so understanding phrasing, understanding the structures of music, understanding bridges and pre-choruses and small things that like may or may not fit. If you're trying to come in on a pre-chorus or a bridge that's only 16 bars and you have a 32 bar intro, like you're going to be out somewhere. You're going to have words over words, and like just understanding structure. And that all came with me learning to play guitar and learning to play drums and like getting from section to section to section, because as a drummer, my band played live shows. So we transitioned as a band from one song to the next. So breaking down those transitional points, to me, that's always kind of been my forefront of like when putting together sets or what I'm going to play, like knowing that this is a great part to transition out of. Now, what's my transitional piece? Is it going to be a quick, simple mix? Is it going to be a scratch in, a breakdown, something where I'm echoing in something? And so that I'm always kind of trying to structure it because I want to make sure that it sounds good to the guests when they're doing that stuff. So yeah, absolutely. The musical side helped me tremendously in DJing.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, I like that. And I know you've kind of answered some of this, but we still want to, ask the question. Every great DJ has a unique sound and style. How would you further describe yours and how it has developed over the years? And sometimes you start one spot and you merge or you morph into something else. And what has that looked like for you? In the beginning, were you just a scratch guy?
Absolutely not. I'm just now getting to understand, scratching, and like it's like I tried and practiced and would get frustrated so long that until it clicks, you're just going in circles and you just get frustrated, right?
Yeah.
But once it clicks, it's like, it's like,
that's how
it's like rubbing your belly and tapping your head. Like, it takes you a minute to figure that out. But once you do, you're like, okay, now I can do this. Now I can make sounds. And what I've learned with scratching as recently, I've only been really pursuing to try to scratch over the last year. But like now that it clicked, now I feel like I'm playing the drums with that scratch track or whatever I'm doing. Like I'm really having fun with it. But to describe my style and sound, I don't think that, I'm not a performer. I do produce, remixes and such, but I'm not performing as a name. Like people are not going and buying tickets to see Nate Nelson. So I don't feel like I have a unique style or sound. I feel like I'm adaptable. I'm someone that whatever event I'm getting put into, that's going to be my style and my sound, because that's what's important. And analyzing the people in front of me is important too. It doesn't matter what the perception of me is as a DJ. I've always go into every event thinking, I'm only as good as this crowd thinks I am. Because if I am the best DJ in someone's eyes last night, and then I go in tonight and I lay an egg, like, those people don't think I'm a great DJ. The people the night before might. And so you can't just go and do the same exact thing all the time. You have to be adaptable. You have to adapt to the crowd in front of you, and you're only as good as the people in front of you think you are. So that's how I would describe my style, is that I guess I'm just a good people person and reading people, because if you're not in tune with your guests and in tune with who's in front of you, you're not going to make it as far as you want to make it in this industry, because it's not about us. It's about making sure that the people that are hiring you or the people that are in front of you for whatever performance you're performing for is having a good time, and you're bringing that to them. So that's my style.
Isn't it amazing that, and you kind of touched on this, that you can have all of the skills in the world as a DJ, but if you're not relatable, if you can't take those skills and relay that, or make it relatable for the people that you're DJing for, that they see you as a bad DJ.
Yeah.
Because the skills mean nothing if people don't understand it,
Yeah.
or if they can't relate to it.
Yeah, and we talk about it, like Nick Spinelli was just here this weekend. He played a party with me on Sunday night, and we were talking before the show, just about, like, he's like, yeah, I have a few word plays and some things that I'm going to do, but people really don't get it unless it's blatantly obvious. Like, they don't know to listen for that I'm going to do this thing with my hands in a routine. Like, that's for the DJ guys to geek out about, right? It's not the guest in front of them could care less that he's going to do this or do that. And we talked about that a lot this weekend of, like, I'm the same way. I would rather it sound good and people have fun with it. But if you get to a point where you're trying to do tone play, word play, make it where it's blatantly obvious if you're trying to do it for the people that are in front of you and you're not playing for DJs, right? When you play for DJs, that's when you show off and do that technical stuff. When you play for an audience, you are their entertainment. They're there to have fun and dance, and you need to bring that to the table.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. All right, Jeffrey.
You're well known for curating unforgettable events. What approach to understanding and meeting a client's vision for the event do you have? It's kind of, he already answered that one too. But so I saw you play with Lil Jon. I mean, I saw you down in New Orleans doing different things. So how do you curate? Do you ask for it, or do they give it to you, or do you just kind of fill out as you go?
Yeah, with corporate, playing like Lil Jon and stuff, like, I know that Lil Jon, that performance he was a DJ. He wasn't coming out and doing his rap show or any of, like, singing any of that. So I knew that it was going to be, I'd played that exact event before with Waka Flocka the year before. So knowing that it was a college event, it was kind of like a on-campus festival where there's 3,000 kids, and you're just there I'm the opener. Like, I gotta set it up. So in that point, I'm trying to get it hype. And I was the one, there was 5 DJs that day. I was the one right before Lil Jon. So me being that role, I knew that I had to get the energy as high as I could without stepping on his toes. So anytime I'm in that scene, I'm always thinking, and just like Sunday when Nick played and Georgia Bridgewater played on Sunday's party, like, I went to Georgia and said, can I have your set list? I went to Nick and said, what songs are, like, off limits for me? Like, you're going to do your stuff, but what songs are off limits for me? Because I'm not trying to be that guy that's playing anything that they want, but I also know that I need to set the tone and kind of curate the vibe based on what it is in the past. So if it's the first time this event's ever taken place, I'm the one setting that vibe. But if that event's taken place year after year after year after year, like, look back at past events and go, okay, this is how this was in the past. This is what they told me they loved about it, and now they brought me in to do it. How can I change it and flip it? I can always tell people, same thing I just told you guys. Like, I don't ever know what I'm going to play. I might have sets in my crates that I'm like, yeah, I play this and this and this when I get into pockets, but there's not like, I know I'm going to play all hip hop tonight or all house or all pop or all whatever. Like, you don't know until you A, get into the room, feel the atmosphere, B, people start to arrive and you get a vibe for them. And then C, what you're like, if you go one direction and it's not working, you've got to be able to adapt and go another direction. And if you do get into a pocket that's working well, then you got to be able to be, knowledgeable enough within that genre to continue to keep that going. You can't just blow it all in the beginning and then expect the party to last for a while. You have to pace yourself. You have to know different pockets to jump into and kind of For me, I like to keep people on their toes. Like I know there's the crowd favorites that everybody's going to sing along to, so keeping those in and have breaks. I know that people need to go to the bathroom, people need to go to the bar. So it's okay to have different like breaks throughout the night. But if you're guiding it correctly, you can rock and roll with that. When it's coming to like bigger shows like New Orleans, we knew that the client wanted a Vegas style like experience for their guests. This was Cater Source. This was the after party of the big awards for Cater Source, and they called it New Orleans After Dark or whatever, but they wanted it to be like a Vegas style experience. So Dom and I went in. We took a lot of stuff that we knew was going to be catering managers from hotels because it's Cater Source and people that are going to this conference. They'd been drinking. They're coming from an event that was really glamorous and elaborate, and then they're coming to us. So we knew that we had to keep it as recognizable and not just go into like straight EDM drops and stuff like that where they're just like whatever, but as recognizable as possible with that flair on it. Because when your audience is predominantly females from 25, 27 to 55, right? You've got to play that demographic, and every demographic is going to be different at what events are. So it's really doing your research. I just did Klay Thompson's shoe release 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and I didn't know what I was going to play because I'm going into a shoe store at the mall that's going to have press and media and all the other things in there, but it's also a basketball event. So what did I do? I researched what Klay Thompson's favorite songs are, and he's been on all these different like podcasts or all these things where he talks about music. I took his 5 top artists, and then I went to Google and said, show me the soundtrack for the last NBA 2K basketball games over the last 3 years. Because everybody that's into the shoe game or into NBA, most likely those guys they're playing 2K. They're playing that video game. Like the culture is video games a lot in younger crowds, and that's who's going to be coming to this, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pull all these music. It'll be recognizable for them, and then I had to listen to stuff and start figuring things out. Like, but I've been on a few podcasts recently. I've preached this. I preach this to my team all the time. But proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's my 5 Ps. So I live by that. And if you don't prepare for something, you go in unprepared, you could have a poor performance. If you go in 100% prepared, you're giving yourself the best success to not fail, right? Because you are prepared. So
how do you feel like it went? Did all the research help? Was it necessary, or could you just
absolutely, man? Klay Thompson even mentioned, like, because I got to talk with him. He was like, "How'd you know about Bone?" Because I knew that Bone Thugs and Harmony was. He had said it in multiple times that Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony was his favorite song. And when he was back in the back of the store and they said he's coming, I literally transitioned as quick as possible straight into Bone, 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 straight Crossroads, like right. And he's vibing as he walked in the door. So the whole time, then I'm starting to play Tupac. Then I played Dre because he loves the West Coast. Like he mentioned Dre, Snoop, Tupac, Bone Thugs and Harmony, but then he also said Biggie. So he had one East Coast guy on there. So I was just playing some of that, but then also would play some other filler stuff, like because they did a full interview. So I wasn't like playing during that portion after he came in, but once he was doing like meet and greets and stuff, like he was vibing the whole time. And his personal videographer came over and was like, "Whatever you're doing, bro, keep doing it. Clay's mentioned you like 3 times that I was playing fire," and I was playing stems and doing stuff. So in my eyes, my assistant even looks at me and goes, "How did you know to play all this stuff?" And I said, "I did my research. You got to do your research." So
that might be something right there that separates you from some of the other ones out there. And a lot of people don't understand the work that we have to put into what we do, research. And, we ask our clients, but sometimes we have to go do a little bit deeper than what they would give us because
and let me give you guys another tip that I feel like could be a valuable nugget for listeners listening right now. Like if you ever do an event like that and you prepare a crate, when you're done with it, what are you doing with that crate? Are you keeping it? Are you saving it? Are you using it for reference later on? Like I literally have 4 crates underneath my like main crates that I play out of that say weddings. And then when you open that crate, it says 2024, 2023, 2022. Like I have them all filed by year. So when I make a specialty crate for a wedding and it's that couple's name, that's what it is. I drag it to weddings, put it in 2024, drop it, leave it. And if I go back and go, man, Allie and Clayton's wedding was crazy. They had a lot of this style of music that this client wants. So then during the party, I'll go check that crate and reference back of what I did or what I played. I have a corporate folder for all the corporate events that I do. And like I played Louis Vuitton, like 3 different stores over 2 days and went from one store to the next. And it was more like house music remix, like down tempo house, like, and And so I've referenced that when I'm playing like opening sets, or if I'm like setting a vibe where I know there's no dance floor, but it's something that's whatever. And I curated all that stuff. So I can go back to that stuff. And then I have non-corporate or I think it just says non-wedding or non-structured events. And basically it's just anything that I've played, like when I played in Milwaukee, when I played in Vegas, when I played here, anything that I created, DJC, I created all these crates and these sets and these routines, and they live in there. And so I've like filtered my list of, and I'm always, if there's 3 songs in a list, I'll delete that crate. If there's not, I like file it away. And that goes back to my radio days of like really managing my library, and literally it's subcrate after subcrate, in there. And I can just file things away based off of what type of event I just did. And that I'm preparing. So all my stuff's prepared in there before the events, and then you can just drag and drop, and then always be able to go back and reference. I have the memory of an elephant. I don't know if that's like a true phrase. I've heard a lot that elephants have great memories, but I don't know. I'm not a scientist or a biologist or anything like that, but I remember everything. So like if I remember a name and see it, I'll go, oh, that party was here. It was this much. This was great. And da-da-da-da-da. And so that kind of helps me with referencing going through my crates. But
just think about how many songs and how fast it's coming now. It's amazing that we are able to keep up sometime with all the quick changes and everything that's coming. It's like drinking out of a hydrant, water, you turn on the spigot outside and it's just coming so fast, and we have to try to keep up and know it and understand it and put it in the right crate and know what to play it with. So I definitely understand that part of it.
And one of the great things that you said is preparation. And that requires you not being lazy, and just going out there and wing it, And even when people hear you say, well, I don't know what I'm going to play, even though you don't know what you're going to play, you are prepared to play certain things because you still did your homework.
Right.
And you're prepared to go in whatever direction you have to go in. And you're not set like, and me and Jeff have talked about this, and I was telling him, outside of what I know I need to play, I don't plan, because I've learned that if you have your mind set to do one thing and it doesn't work, then that may destroy you, and you may not even know what to do, and you may just be sitting there just like, what do I do next? So for me, I've found it to be more entertaining and more of a learning lesson to just actually pay attention to what the people are responding to.
And it's hard sometimes. I had it twice this weekend where they wanted me to play 4-hour sets, and they wanted me to start 4 hours before, like 2 hours really before I should have. And when I mean should have, I mean like actually playing. Like I will be the first guy to tell you I'm not one of these Jersey guys that plays cocktail hour and plays dinner. That's not me. Like I curate those lists as well, and make sure that, they're exactly what the client's wanting for those specific times of the night. Like, with the corporate event or with the wedding, you have a cocktail hour and a dinner. And these 2 events that I had, they were like, all right, party music, let's go, let's get it going. And I'm like, I really think that the people aren't there yet. The people they've just kind of got comfortable with their surroundings. They're all in conversation. They're still kind of standing around. They're not there yet. And we have plenty of time. But when sometimes the clients and the people don't see that we have the experience to tell them, if you give me 45 minutes more of cocktail or whatever we're playing right now, and then I come in 45 more minutes instead of starting now, it's going to be much better, because I'm going to be throwing darts, trying to pull out 3 to 5 people. And then they come out and they like a song or they request a song. And then once I can get majority of the people there, then I can and I'm saving stuff, right? You're saving because you're not trying to, you're not trying to just give it all up there and then them not dance to it, or you try to play it again later. Like, I'm a big believer of, unless it's like the client themselves, like, I want to hear that song again. Like, and it's a good song, I might play it twice, but I'm a huge believer in not playing the same song twice.
That definitely means you're a club DJ. Yeah, because we hated to play something twice, man.
Yeah, it's like cutting my
but that's different though, because a club I would play a song twice. Like, because clubs turn over. If I'm playing 10 to 2 and I play something from 10 to 11, I could definitely play it again from 1 to 2.
Yeah, you can.
Right?
Because you have waves. Other people showed up
for sure.
yeah. But we still try to avoid it. I know I did. That would almost kill me to have to play something twice.
People wouldn't know. Like, I played a couple songs that Nick played Sunday, and it did not affect the party.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I know it's two different DJs, but at the same time, like, it really doesn't. Like, someone could have heard that song on the ride to the venue. They
Yeah.
could have heard it when they were shopping that earlier that day. They don't remember if they actually heard it that night, unless it's like a very impactful song, you know, like, unless you're playing Not Like Us twice and everybody's singing and they know they already did that. Like, you know what I mean? So,
yep.
Well, let's touch on this a little bit more. We know how important it is, you know, when it comes to reading the crowd. So can you share with us a time when you had to completely switch gears mid-set to keep the energy alive? I know we pulling it out of it.
I don't really.
Now, if that's something you don't deal with,
I don't.
we understand.
I don't recall like. I guess I had a corporate party 2 weeks ago where they had a live musician playing. This was it was a country Christmas party is what they called it. And they wanted me to, I played country early. Then this musician came and played guitar and sang. And then they wanted Cupid Shuffle, Wobble, all that stuff back to back. Like, they wanted to line dance. So this was like a 65 person event. There was probably 20 of the females out there doing the line dances. And then I go into a party set. And they all just went back to the bar and went back to talking and stuff like that. And so, in that side, I'm like, these people, they got what they wanted. They wanted to do some line dances. They don't fit. They're men, and they were a bunch of roofers. Their husbands weren't coming out to dance. I tried a slow song. It didn't happen. I tried more party music. It didn't happen. So I literally just went back to playing country pop that was popular for background music. I played Zach Bryan. I played stuff like that where they were still happy. I curated a night where they were extremely happy with what happened, but they were just not going to go and dance. And so I just flipped the script and said, I can sit here and try to play this at a loud volume for dancing. But I was like, nope. I turned my volume back down. I went back to kind of that after dinner or before dinner vibe of just playing some of that country stuff. And they were happy and they were singing along and they were in different pockets of talking and at the bar and just enjoying. Like, it doesn't have to be straight rager all the time to be great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, Chris? What's up, KG?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that was good but you did have to make a total pivot. But in events like that, I know a lot of us, do you words say, oh, damn, did I do something wrong? Or did you just say this crowd is not feeling it? Or do you blame yourself a little bit in that? Or No,
absolutely not. I've done enough corporate parties where I feel like, you know, sometimes we get spoiled to crazy dance parties because we do weddings. And what do people expect to do when they go to a wedding? They expect it. They know that there's going to be a ceremony, dinner, and then a party. When they go to a corporate party, they're going to somewhere new. Typically, it's not at their office. They're going to a nice dinner. They're hoping to win a prize or get a bonus or something. And they're with their coworkers and their spouse. They're not expecting to have a good party unless you're at unless I'm doing a corporate party for 1,000 people.
Yeah,
I know that 1,000-person party can be a rager. If I'm doing a 100 or less corporate party, it depends on what the jobs are. Like, if you're doing a party for a bunch of accountants, it's probably not going to be a rager. If you're doing a party for a bunch of real estate or realtors, it's going to be fun. If you're doing it for, you just have to you got to know who you're playing for. And you have to go in with the expectation of what it could or could not be. And if you go in and it is a rager, like a lot of my DJs on our team at LaForce this last month have been like, man, I had a few people dancing here and there, but it wasn't like I've been expecting. And I'm like, yeah, you've been doing weddings for 3 months and it was all ragers. And now you're going into corporate and it's a different beast, and they want you to play 4 hours and you're just like, you're trying to marathon it, and you have to go in with the expectation of, this isn't a wedding. And if you go in with the expectation of having a party like a wedding for a corporate event, sometimes you win, most times you don't.
Yeah.
It's different. It's very different.
Yeah.
All right, Jeffrey.
The DJ industry is highly competitive? What are some of the biggest challenges you face breaking into the field, and how did you overcome those?
I don't know, man. I don't know that I ever had many challenges because I didn't worry about anybody else. I worried about myself. I worried about my clients, my well-being. Um, Glenn was a fantastic mentor to me and always told me just kind of, when there's, we kind of lay low on social media as far as like interacting, because one wrong thing that you say on social media can drown you. So we always have kind of just stayed in our lane, not looked at it as competition. I mean, I feel like I don't have, not that I don't have competitors. I do have competitors, but I don't look at competitors as competitors. I look at it as we are a collective of an industry that's not licensed. You don't go to school for it. You don't get a degree for it. You're either good at it or you have sound in mind of like, this is what you want to do, and you have the means and abilities to do it.
Hold
Anybody
on,
can
I
step
got to
in.
want to take 36 minutes.
Go ahead.
I have to play that back for some people. Yeah, but that was deep right there. It's not competitive, and then to think that you guys actually stay off of social media on purpose.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, if you get so involved in social media and what everybody else is
Well, I
doing,
mean,
then,
you can
not,
get involved, but I'm with you. I'm the same way. I don't political, don't touch. Some other stuff, don't touch. My life, I don't mind sharing the things I do. I like to have fun and my kid, my family, and traveling, doing sports. But you're right. And a lot of people don't realize this. Yeah, some stuff you can't touch because you could turn away several clients with just one word or jumping into one subject. So some things you do, but that's the first time I've ever heard anybody say they do it on purpose.
yeah, but the mindset too of, if I'm in there to interact and engage with people and worry about what everybody else is doing, people get addicted to that. People get addicted to watching someone else and comparing themselves to that person. I never want to compare myself to anybody else. I want to compare myself to me. I'm my own competitor. And I've always had the mindset of whatever it was that was in front of me, I was going to try to do it 110% and be the best at it. And if I could be the best, what was past that? So when I got into the Dallas market, I always told myself, like, I'm going to be the best one day. I always looked at Andy Austin as like he was the target. And not that he was a target and had a bullseye on his back like that. I just was like, I learned from Andy, and Andy helped me along the way a lot. I've had people that I've tried to help bring up. Dan Quinn and I talk all the time, and we are direct competitors. We're the same exact price at the highest level in Dallas Fort Worth for weddings. And we talk all the time about, hey, are you ready to move our price up? Because we're going to do it together. And that's, to me, that's, if we're setting the standard, and then if we jump together, then the next guy on my team, I can say, hey, this, or I could reach out to Rod or Kelly or Jason or any of these other people and say, hey, we're bumping, y'all come on. Like, let's rise together, because we're in an industry where you could have someone that just got a laptop or gets a laptop Christmas this year and a controller, and then they roll in and they're like, oh, I'm good at social media and I can do this and people are going to book me, but they don't know what they're doing, right? Like, the people that are doing it well, let's rise together and let's all show our value more and be competitively priced across the board, so that we don't have a range of $350 to DJ an event up to $5,000, right? Like, that's just, in what industry is
Sorry,
that, right?
Nate, it's out there. Sorry, it's still out there, Nate. It's still out there.
I know.
Still 350.
But I'm trying.
Hey, we
You know what I
with you,
mean?
brother. We with you. We with
But
you.
you know what though? But those people who are doing that probably are charging the right price. Because like you say, you go buy a laptop, a couple speakers, I can DJ. And that's the biggest lie you can tell yourself. Because just talking about what you did, how many people you actually think sit down and research to go back and listen to podcasts and talk to and go back and listen to a podcast where what's his name has been on it, and anything, like we went back and listened to yours, of course, or I've listened to some of yours, but I'm saying how many, because we have a show to do that and we need to know who we're talking to, but how many DJs do you actually think going out and doing that homework?
I don't know. That's a good.
You don't get to where you are by not
Yeah.
going that extra mile and being a little bit better at what you do.
I'm never going to stop learning, man. I feel like if you stop learning and stop improving and stop practicing, that you're just going the wrong direction. And so, I'm not getting any younger. I'm I want to leave a mark on this industry. I want to leave a mark on, the lives that I touch. And I mean, that's what's important to us. I mean, it doesn't matter what I get paid to do an event. I do events for free all the time. I love doing what I do. And when, it doesn't matter what I'm paid or what it is, the best feeling, the best reward I can get is at the end of an event, just be like, people just blown away of like, I haven't never had that much fun dancing, the song selections you made or the way you mixed them in seamlessly. Like, that's the compliment. And that's my favorite part about this job.
Cool.
Great. So, with music trend and technology constantly changing, how do you stay ahead of the curve and ensure your performances are always fresh and exciting? So, we don't want you to give us the secret sauce, but give us the sauce.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm well connected, man. And I'm in a lot of group chats, text messages, WhatsApps, with some really heavy industry hitters, people that are on the front line, not just performing, but working for technology companies like BeatSource, working for Serato, working for Pioneer. And when you see things come out and you get different perspectives that are in these chats of saying, this is a new feature and this is why I like it, or this is how to use it. Too many times I feel like DJs get scared of new technology. There's mainstream club DJs that are playing Vegas right now that do not use stems and don't know how to use them, or not that they don't know how, but they're not trying to jump into technology. You know what it is? It's like sometimes people are scared to upgrade their computers and they don't understand enough how to back it up to switch to something else that can handle the new technology. I'm streaming DJ sets all the time, not streaming to a platform. I'm streaming music from BeatSource. I work for BeatSource. I believe in it. I don't have to go buy the brand new song that just came out just to have it. I can stream it because it's on BeatSource the day it comes out. So, there's different times where if I get a request, especially at some of these corporate parties and things like that, where you are taking more requests and someone comes and asks for something, like I just boop, I'm online already. I'm on BeatSource. There it is. I drag it. I play. So for me, I was a big adapter early on in the streaming because I think it's the future. I think in 5 years, every controller, every piece of DJ equipment we ever play on will just be plugged straight into the internet and you'll just log into it on a screen and be able to do what you do. I think all of our music will live in the cloud. That's just where I feel like it's going. You already see people playing on thumbs drives instead of computers. Now it's just going to be all built in where literally there's an Ethernet port in the back of whatever it is you're playing. There already is in a lot of these newer controllers where you just log in, your stuff's in the cloud and you play that way. I'm also a big believer in performance as far as like when stems came out, I adapted it early, and I instilled that in our team because I knew that if my team understood stems and the technology and it would help them learn music better. It would help them with their mixing because you are now going back to what I talked about earlier with phrasing and coming in on the one. Like we do a stems challenge monthly where we pick a popular song and everybody goes and tries to remix it with using stems or make a mashup. And we do that every month with LaForce with our team. And it even like from a DJ that's been with us a year all the way to our guys that are 10 years, like, our 10-year guys are learning from some of our newer guys because everybody's minds are different. Everybody thinks about songs differently and creatively, but it's also making them better as a team. And so I'm a big believer in like just adapting the trends early because if you're scared of them, run from them, the next thing you know, it's going to pass you by and then you're going to be way far, you're going to be way behind anyway. So, when things come out, when new technology comes out, I'm fortunate enough that I get hit up by I don't do a lot of video stuff on YouTube like Nick and these guys that are getting equipment and technology, but I see it, I get it. We get to play with it. We get to test it. We just have a team that's big enough and Justin's on our team. So we get to see a lot of Justin's doing videos for a lot of different technology as well. So we adapt on it and we play with it. And that's the best way to learn it because we're giving feedback to the tech companies, the people that are putting out new technology, new software, new things like that. And we're able to give real life feedback back to them at the same time. So, just being out there and being able to adapt to it and being up to the challenge of like not being scared of it because I know that sometimes that it's really easy to get comfortable and get stuck in our ways. So can't be scared.
Yeah, and I personally know DJs that are still using you. Are you still a record box guy?
No, I went back to Serato like 3-4 years ago.
Help me, Nate. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to get back.
Well, I actually did it when I got the Rain 12s because
Yeah.
you could only use the DVS software and stuff like. And actually, my S11 is the main reason I went back because I would have to update to Rekordbox 6 and pay monthly. And I'm like, if I'm going to pay monthly, I'm paying for Serato. So
I have a Rain Performer that I need to just take out the box, perhaps.
Yeah.
And start. But I'm going to make the switch before the holidays over. But yeah, that's something, like you say, just getting in touch with it and staying ahead of the curve. Don't be afraid. Like I said, I still know guys on Rekordbox 5. And, you know, we just got 7 not too long ago. But I don't know why people are afraid to grow and change. I mean, it's only going to make you better. And stems is the most fun thing I've heard to play with. Because I'm going to give you a quick shout out real quick. But I was super shocked. I was going through DJ City, I think, and I saw the remix by Nate Nelson. I said, oh, my God, Nate has a remix out here. You had a couple.
I got a bunch of them out there.
Yeah,
now.
I said,
I've been in.
So, you know, I threw it in the library. I played it a couple times.
Which one is it?
One of those Morgan Whalen's slow.
Was that I Had Some Help one or the Big X?
Yeah, I Had Some Help.
Yeah, that one.
I think I got both of them.
The I Had Some Help one literally like never fails. It's like the perfect build, and at the end, it's just they know that song, they're singing it, and it's just completely different. So I've gotten the biggest feedback from that edit, actually. You know, and Aaron Traylor from Crate Hackers lives in Nashville, and so he's in the heart of country music. And he told me last time I talked to him, he's like, bro, I hear your edit every time I'm walking down Broadway. Like the DJs in Nashville are playing that song all the time.
It's pretty tight. So I've dropped it a couple country sets. So I was like,
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I've seen, like I say, we see each other, but we don't see each other. And
Nate Nelson's Patreon's coming January 1, just so everybody's
Nelson,
aware
what
of that.
now?
Patreon.
My Patreon's coming January 1st. That's
Congrats.
You're hearing it here first. That's the first time I've announced it. So
okay.
Congrats in advance. And we'll be there. We will be there. What's up, KC? What's up, Chris? He said he knows some DJs still using this software. Yeah. So are you using Serato Studios to do your edits?
I am. I was an early adapter of it. I actually took I have a really good friend that was doing it, and he spent an hour with me on a Zoom call and kind of showed me all the ins and outs. Yeah. But you know, those are things also that, you know, if you want to be successful in any area that you're going, you got to put the time into it. You don't just expect it to happen. So, you know, I've put forth the effort to continue to learn and continue to grind on it. And I don't think now that I'm enjoying it this much that Serato Studio is not open every day on my laptop. Like, I am constantly playing with stuff and dropping new things in and coming up with ideas. I actually just dropped a remix of Love Somebody by Morgan Wallen. And we were in the car the day it came out. My kids were out of school that week. I think it was Thanksgiving break, and we're in the car driving, and that song came out. And my youngest daughter, who's 9, says, "Dad, this sounds just like Dua Lipa." And I said, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, Training Season." So we switched on Spotify to that song. It's in the same key and it's the same BPM.
Wow.
And so we got home from lunch. I made that edit that day, and my 9-year-old daughter came up with it. And so that one's on DJ City as well. You can download that if you want. But
so do they have the ear? Are they playing already?
Yeah, both my kids are in choir right now. So they're singing and they're really learning it. My oldest wants to learn to play that guitar that's behind me. Mm-hmm. She just attention spans of kids, man. They don't have the
you don't have to tell
if
us
they don't have the want yet, they're not going to spend the time to be good at it, and then they get frustrated and set it down. And and they don't put my stuff back where it's supposed to go. But I do find them, like, if I'm not here in my office, this microphone's always here, they'll put my headphones on and be singing to themselves all the time because they can hear themselves in the headphones. But
yeah, well, that's cool. All right, it's up there already, sir.
Oh, okay.
What advice would you give someone who's starting out their journey as a DJ, and is there any specific skills or mindsets? I mean, he's hit on so many things, but anything else you want to throw out there? Then you skipped the question, Mike.
Yeah, I read the other question. If you want to go back,
yeah, the other question
I can answer this.
I like that question.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you do it?
Hey,
go ahead. All right. So you probably experienced some unforgettable events. So talk to us. What have you done? What's the most coolest thing you've ever done, and why?
Oh man, I would honestly say the New Orleans show that you mentioned earlier
I would say that one too because I've
it's
seen
definitely a top.
it was buck wild.
It was crazy, and it was like we were we were an act. Like I've never came off stage performing and like we ended the show like it was the end of a concert, and we didn't. It's not like lights on, party's over. It was like we ended on a bang, blew confetti, walked off stage, and that was the show. We had people waiting to take photos with us off the side of
Wow.
that big stage. We went to that show in a tour bus from Dallas. We brought a video wall and lighting and all the stuff and had a trailer and there was a 7-man crew. So we took a tour bus. It was just cheaper that way. And
So
so we
Jonathan is
felt
on here. So did he come with y'all?
who?
Jonathan, Whoopee.
He was not on that show. We were working with Jason Mayfield
Oh, okay.
on that show. That was kind of really before Jonathan and I kind of became as close as we are. I've done some crazy production aspects of where I wasn't performing, where I was producing, that are pretty memorable to me. I've produced Steve Aoki twice. I've produced Loud Luxury, a couple of other big names, and so that's fun. But I feel like probably New Orleans was my most memorable, performance. 2,500 people just absolutely going crazy, and I was on a full stage with a huge. And most of that was my design, the lighting and video wall strips and all the things that we did. And Dom and I played that whole set on thumb drives. We had the whole time on the bus ride to New Orleans to go back and forth of what we wanted to play. We gave each other different spots. We were just, it was a DJ duo night that I'll never forget.
Where did y'all do that one at?
It was at the Sugar Mill in New Orleans.
Okay.
So big space, big open outdoor space, big old warehouse. It was a really cool spot.
Yeah.
My own private personal party that I've probably done. I've had some crazy ones, man.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
I mean, just the Texas Rangers World Series party was pretty epic.
I'm sure it was, yeah.
Dom and I did that one together as well, though. I don't know, man. I've had some really fun
Chris,
parties over the years.
But he tries to be modest, but he's done some, some crazy great stuff. I mean, yeah. So
Chris,
Travis Scott was pretty crazy too.
Which one?
When I opened for Travis Scott, that was that one was I think 6,000 people, and I was right. But Chase B literally took over from me, and Chase B is Travis Scott's DJ. But just knowing that I'm playing a track and Chase B mixed into me to start Travis Scott's show was pretty epic for me. And I remember that day was like the week that Kendrick Humble came out. And so that's what I opened my set with. And it's just bum, 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 bada. And I was like, hey, everybody get your hands up and rock with me when I started. And I just had them from that moment. And so Travis Scott was also like an hour late. So I was like, you guys ready? Like I kept saying it over and over. And then it's like, I kept having to play. They're like, keep going. And you're just like, damn, I prepped to play for like 35, 40 minutes for this set. And you're telling me I'm playing for an hour and a half now. Like,
give me another cut. Give me another cut.
So
you had to keep digging in the crate, but you were prepared though, right?
I was absolutely prepared for that.
All right, go ahead. What was Chris trying to?
Chris Carr said that he said the founders were talking about you in the drag queen club at Harvest of Sound.
What?
I don't know. I don't know what is Chris talking about?
He said they were talking about you, at the drag queen club in Harvest of Sound. Said outstanding mix. So I don't know what he's talking about. We ain't gonna fool with Chris tonight. I'm just reading what he said. I don't know.
I've done some drag shows, but I don't know. I don't think I did a drag show when I was in Boston. So
unless you were,
I don't know. Unless somebody was playing one of your mixes or something.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's talking about.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for chatting it up about me. Appreciate it.
Oh man!
All right, so we will go back to this. What advice would you give to a DJ starting on their journey?
Be open, listen, DJs get the whatever it is. You can have one crazy party and then you get the biggest head in the world and you don't want to listen to anybody because you did it your way. That won't get you very far. Be open to listen to people. I believe that you should have a personal board of directors in your life, someone that is your mentor, that you look up to. You should have someone that's on the same level as you, and then you should have someone that you're bringing up as well, because you can be learning, you can be teaching, and you can be competing at the same level, and pushing each other. Because I've learned so much from my mentees, the people I've trained at LaForce. I've learned so much from my mentors, and I've learned so much from the people that I'm pushing together with. I learn from Dan Quinn all the time. I chat with, people that are in the same area as me in different markets, just chatting about this and that, and always trying to stay ahead of the curve and stay relevant and practice, because there's always someone that's better than you. And if you don't understand that, you will not live a happy life, because you'll think you're the best and people won't like it. There's always someone better than you. There's someone better than me all the time. And they're working really hard to take my spot. And I know that. And so that's one of Mark Cuban's favorite quotes, is like, you better work harder than the person that's working their ass off to try to take your seat. So, work hard, listen, and practice. It's my biggest advice.
Wow.
And Chris said silent disco. He's talking about
silent. Yeah, I did. Oh, that was a drag club that we played silent disco. Okay. I don't remember, but I do remember playing the silent disco in Boston.
Chris doesn't lie. Okay.
All right, Chris.
Wow. Man. Crazy.
What's up, DJ Cali Cal?
Oh,
Yeah.
man. That's crazy.
Okay.
Man.
So our last question.
You've achieved a lot already, Nate, but what's next for you? What's your goals? What's some of your goals and projects you want to tackle? Are you getting ready to work on an album? Have you done fusion where you played an instrument and did it with another DJ? Have you done that? I know that's not big time, but I'm just asking, is that something you've done? I need somebody to play drums with me one day. You down for that, maybe, perhaps? Man,
I haven't touched the kit in a long time, and there's a guy on my team that is a phenomenal drummer. We actually performed at an ACE event a few years ago. We did a LaForce band, and it was a lot of fun. We're talking about bringing it back, just for like a one-night show, just to like really have some fun and see if people would enjoy it. But
man, it's fun playing with bands.
Yeah,
it is, man.
Somebody's got to take over for Andy, so y'all go ahead and get it together and get it ready.
I've been told that a lot this week, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. Big projects for me. Obviously, I'm continuing my production career and working on remixes. My Squabble Up edit will be dropping on DJ City this week. I put a lot of energy into that. I played it at every show this weekend, and people loved it. So that's kind of where I test some of my edits before I submit them, is actually playing them live at my shows. And so people really enjoyed it. Even the bar that I played at Saturday night, I got a bunch of comments. That's dope. You make that? I'm like, yeah. So continuing to produce and put out edits. I think that obviously we're just trying to be the best team that we can be, from top to bottom at LaForce, and I'm really passionate about training and teaching the next generation of DJs. And then, I'm on the board of Midwest DJs Live, so I'm looking forward to that. I've got a lot of new, fresh concepts and ideas for entertainment coming, and so I'm looking forward to that. I've just got a lot of different things on my plate right now, and juggling those and trying to be a good dad and husband at the same time is big on my priority list right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, man, I feel so much better that I almost actually know you now, a little bit about you.
Heck yeah.
Because like I say, I see you all the time. I don't think we've ever sat down and really had a beer or sat down. I don't drink, but I mean, actually sat down and broke bread or had a conversation. We're going to have to do that next time.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to flip to who buys the dinner.
Yeah.
And we'll sit down. We'll be at Midwest, so we're going to lobby now to either interview somebody on stage with you or to do something at Midwest. So we're putting it out there now.
Sounds good.
Board of directors.
Yeah.
And I love that comment too, man, about having I always say you need a mentor, mentee, and somebody that you're working with teaching too. So, or somebody teaching you.
That's a good way to look at it.
You gotta, because you need somebody pointing to you. You should be pointing to somebody else, help
somebody you grow
I don't
on.
know where I got that. Somebody said that somewhere along my journey of, further education and going to conferences. Somebody said that.
You're
and it
out there
stuck
all
with
the
me,
time, and you're behind the back walls, and you getting this. Probably, I don't know how early or long you've been doing it, but you've probably been listening to the Michael Walters, the Joe Buns, and those guys who are dropping knowledge, the Bill Hermans, all
Yeah,
those guys.
I was an attendee of Mike and Joe's very first PhDJ workshop. And that was, Joe and I were talking about this last week, that it was like 10 years ago was the very first one. And it's just kind of crazy to go, damn, we've been boys for 10 years now. And it's kind of crazy. So,
well, Nate, if you think about it, in 26, that means I've been knowing you for 10 years. We bumped into each other in first time in Vegas. It's been almost 10 years. 2016 was the first one I went to.
The year that I spoke, I think, right?
Yeah.
On school stuff.
Well, year before that, because you spoke the next year when you did your high school hype thing. Or
High school hype is Chris Harmon.
Not high school hype.
I'm Kings of Prom.
Kings of Prom. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I can't keep him on. What was the name of boy? What was the name of Jordan's? What was his out of Chicago?
No, it was what was it called?
Something high school. I can't remember, but I know, yeah, and then you spoke the year after he spoke. So.
Yeah. He was a massive inspiration for me on that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I look at inspiration is it's inspiration and make something yours. Don't just have somebody else's inspiration and take it and make it just copy them. Like, inspiration should be imitation with your own spice, right? So
did that part of it, the high school thing, kind of lead y'all to the production side too?
I think it all kind of happened at the same time. I think with anything, like, when you get clients that want to do things and you're like, oh, we got TVs or we got screens, we got photo booth, we got this, or I also had a mentor that always told me, like, even if you don't have it and someone wants it, sell it and then figure it out. Like, that's another big reason, like, we've done some of the stuff we've done, is that I'm a good salesman and I could talk someone into saying, yeah, and feel confident about what I was selling. And then I know enough people that are experts in those fields to source them. Jonathan Simmons was a massive piece of our production that, we didn't know some of these areas. Jonathan's came in and worked on alongside of us, and we've collaborated on, concerts and arena shows and things like that, where, again, it's not competition, it's collaboration. And, if you look at everybody else that's doing the same thing as you as competition, you're not going to grow, because you're going to compare yourself to them. You need to, look at some of these people and go, man, maybe they do know a little bit more than me and I can learn from them. Or maybe they're struggling in an area and I can help them. Like, you have to have that servant heart and know that you got to be real, and you got to be real with yourself, that I can't do this on my own. I need help. And you got to be able to say, oh, are you okay? And care about the other people in your industry too, and say, how can I help you? So
let me ask you, are you doing that? Or are you just doing it within the force?
No, absolutely. I mean, I sat down and sat with Dan Quinn at dinner a couple nights ago, and we're just talking about what's next for he's by himself and he's doing the same type of stuff I'm doing as far as special effects and like the caliber of weddings. We're doing the same caliber of weddings, and so we're just talking about trends and talking about, like, I don't think that I have anything to hide from Dan, and Dan doesn't have anything to hide from me.
I'm not saying it in an aspect. What I'm saying, are you talking to fellows outside of your thing that are coming up and telling them or giving them?
Yeah,
ideas?
man. I'll talk. If
I know
anybody
you will
hits me
to
up,
people,
dude. My DMs all the time. Like, I was on Drew and Fuse's podcast a month ago, and I got people hitting me up asking me questions all the time. And I think that's also helped me nationally, is that, when I have spoken at Mobile Beat or Midwest or wherever I've spoke, every single person deserves a chance to be heard, and every single person has a unique story. And I think that's something that my wife always tells me special about me, is that I want to hear people's stories. I want to hear where they came from and, get to know them. And that's something that I, say to my clients as well, is like, yeah, I'm a people person. I feel like, I want to get to know people, and I want to just be able, sometimes you'll catch me in a bad mood and I'm just like, I don't have time for it right now. And I've been working on that, because I used to be like open to like show up and talk to everybody and just sit until wee hours of the morning and just chat and, you know.
We don't have time for that. We got other stuff to do too.
No, but those are the best thing. When you go to a conference and the late night after conference around a lobby,
we do that a lot too. But
those are the best nights.
Yeah, I know,
but a lot of information. It's a lot of bonding. They're good.
A lot of lying.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, there is a lot of lying, you know. But I try to just speak truth.
Yeah. Well, Nate, we truly appreciate it, man. I feel like I really know a lot about you now. Now I'm gonna have to do a mixtape and send it to you and tell you about me. And but we'll sit down. We're gonna definitely break bread, man. We'll have to sit down.
Absolutely, man.
Have, 10, 50, have a cup of coffee or something together. But brother, I have a lot of respect for you. I love what you guys are doing, and the word competition will never come across my lips again. It is collaboration, and growth of just. I see it as an example or aspiration to where I'm trying to be. So that's where that's how I look at it.
Man. And I love the way that
everybody to know your address.
I love the way that you said that, because that is a good way to look at that.
Yeah.
Why are you worrying about somebody else?
You should, man. At the end of the day, when you meet your maker, it's only what you did, not what everybody else did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And everybody.
What did you do? Well, John, no, sir. What did you do, Michael?
Yeah. And everybody is unique.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. I haven't met a person that wasn't, unless they
even with couples, man. Like you're gonna meet a couple that you're doing their wedding. They're completely different people, and they have completely different tastes on their music and the way they expect their wedding to go. And so you have to adapt to that too. And
they
be
are
like
trying to get married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Pitt say no one can tell a tall tale like a DJ.
A fisherman might be able to, but that's about it.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah. And some of us are fishermen too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got a gift. We got a gift here from
the harvest guys.
Yeah, from Chris. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah.
They sent us some beanies. All right.
Yes.
We don't. Unfortunately, we don't have the weather for that yet here.
Not yet.
We did a couple weeks ago, but it
last
went away.
year when we were in Boston, we needed about 8 of these. It was so goddamn cold up there.
Yep.
And Milwaukee ain't the warmest place.
And they close early.
Ain't nowhere to get nothing to eat up there.
Yes.
But no. But hey, again, we thank you for coming on, sir. Look forward to seeing you around.
Absolutely.
And just chop it up.
Don't be a stranger.
Oh, we won't. We won't. No. Hey, we in this thing now. We've broken bread.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bread has been broken.
Yep. So
So, we wish the best for you, and your continued success. We can't wait to see those kiddos doing their thing. Jeff, do not.
And we have to break out the granddaddy of them all about my Christmas hats.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's the Willy Wonka Christmas hat.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You look
I won't be here next week, so
you look like a poor pimp.
But hey, man,
I love it, man. I love it.
People bought me so many of these hats and send them to me, man.
I can't believe you did this.
Hey, wow. Yeah, but man, take us out of here, man.
All right. Well,
thanks again, Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Appreciate you guys.
Brother.
All right.
Man, what is wrong with you?